Hey folks, welcome to verifiedinvesting.com. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. In today's video, we're going to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, and major trending stocks that are at all-time highs to see if they are sending warning signs of an imminent stock market decline. The reason I bring this up, we just saw silver collapse over 30%, gold down 10%, Bitcoin just in the last few days down about 20%. And ultimately, what you're watching is a domino effect. And that leads me to believe that the S&P, the Nasdaq, and major players in the stock market are the next de-risking to occur. But let's jump into the charts here. First, here's your silver chart. Massive move down on Friday. Again, you could see that doji top right there. There was a beautiful topping tail that told us the end was near. And this is what's so great about topping tails. When you know topping tails, even though we went higher over here, we never closed above the tail high, which then tells us essentially that you have a scenario where the topping tail is still a dominant reversal signal. And then look at what happens. Incredible. Then we have gold. Major drop. If we look at gold's decline here from peak to trough, we went down a total from peak to trough 16% within 2 days on gold. Historic move there. And last but not least, Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin just in the last few days, going back to Thursday. If we go back to Wednesday's high here to the lows, 16.5% decline at this point, and Bitcoin's beginning to fall again. We'll see if it takes out the lows here. But my point is, again, folks, is that assets generally move together, right? Gold and silver move together. And the de-risking gold and silver, well, in all fairness, you could argue that Bitcoin started it back in October when Bitcoin topped. But now Bitcoin's getting another de-risking, a secondary de-risking. And so you're watching all of these assets that were at one point at all-time highs starting to crater. What's left? The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Look at this, guys. So here's your chart. And by the way, let's look at a bigger time frame on this because I think this is very telling. So here's the monthly chart. And I just want to put this in perspective. In fact, let's go to a different S&P where we don't have all the lines on the charts. There we go. Okay, so when you look at this chart of the S&P, what do you notice about the last few years, if maybe even the last 10 years? And what you can see here is that going back to, let's say, 2009, we were here, and look at the trajectory. And it's only gotten steeper since COVID's low or the bear market lows here, right? So here's COVID low, here's the bear market low. Look at the vertical nature pullback. And this vertical move has been even more dramatic to the upside. And the reason why I bring this to your attention is that essentially what's going on here is that the market on a bigger time frame is getting more and more vertical and due for a bigger and bigger decline. In fact, if you showed me this chart, you could tell me this was the daily chart of silver, and I honestly might even believe you if I didn't see that it was the S&P monthly chart here. And we know what can happen. So essentially what I'm telling you here, folks, is that the market is vulnerable to a crash. If the wrong thing happened, now listen, we've had a lot of negative headlines, but if the wrong thing occurs at the right time, this S&P could decline 5 to 10% intraday, like a literal stock market crash, just like silver, just like we've seen in other asset prices overall. Now, if we take a look at the S&P, again, we can see that if you go back to previous cycles, yeah, sure, we had a great move to the upside, but look at the angle here. Look at the angle of these incredible. This was the dot-com bull market. This was the financial crisis lead up right there. And then look at the vertical, whether you're looking at here where it started kind of in the same line. See, the lines were pretty much parallel there, but then it got more vertical. Okay, this was when QE started to kick into high gear. Then we got even more vertical with this one, and then even more vertical. And this is a disaster waiting to happen on the charts, folks. All right. Now, again, going back to the S&P we had up before, this is what we need to follow, right? So if we're looking at the daily chart, number one, I've been telling you guys for months that I didn't see a lot of upside in this market. Why? Because the parallel has guided my analysis since COVID's low. And you can see the bull market high here. And then even over here in October, by the way, this is when Bitcoin topped, the market hit, the S&P hit this line, and it's never been able to get through. The negative here is that the white trend line broke, and we did a classic retrace to the scene of crime. The market is literally hanging on by a thread here. All right. This week will be the week to decipher if this market can go higher. And the reason I say that is because we have a jobs report. We also have the Google earnings / Alphabet earnings and Amazon earnings. So you have a few more big cap tech. We have AMD reporting and some of these other bigger players. And if they can't deliver, and we've already seen, and I'm going to show you some of the memory stocks that look like they've topped out here with major reversals. But if they can't get this market going, then you're going to see major dumping. And I am concerned per Friday that we're already seeing this action occurring. Let's go to some of these charts. So SanDisk. SanDisk reports the most unbelievable quarter I think I've ever seen from a company. All right. It was already overbought, but with that amazing result, it traded as high as $677. It fell and went negative and closed only up 7% on the day. This candle, all right, remember the rules of markets. When good news occurs and the market does not go up, or a stock does not go up significantly, or it underperforms, that's a signal of institutional distribution, aka selling pressure, that a top is in play. And you can look at the other ones, like at Taiwan Semi. All right, Taiwan Semi, which has been one of the leaders still. I mean, you talk about NVIDIA lagging. I mean, NVIDIA hasn't even been near an all-time high in months. But really, Taiwan Semi tagged this level. And then look, it's starting to build a bear flag with even a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern here. Look at this little pattern. This tells me this is going lower here on the charts. Okay, then look at WDC, another memory maker, reported earnings, good earnings, in fact, great earnings, stocks down 10%. Okay, now look, by the way, look at this chart. This is your monthly chart of WDC. All right, that is a ridiculous chart. All right, this is a chart that looks so similar to silver. In fact, if we go here, right, let's look at the monthly silver before this major collapse looked almost identical. Right? Almost identical, because we were trading up here. I mean, you could see this, we were all the way up here. You look at that and then you flip to WDC, like literally it's essentially the same thing. And so you can see that this is all about investor sentiment. Look at STX. STX daily chart reverses on Friday. And by the way, the stock market was down, but it wasn't down that much. It was just down a little bit. So the idea is these high flyers, kind of the last bastion of major support in the market, they started to show the signals of a top. And if you lose the AI trade, including the memory trade, what's left in the market? Defensive names, Pfizer. Okay. Pfizer, maybe it'll go up. Low PE names. There's not a bunch out there. Kraft Heinz. But my point is that the drivers of the bull market have been tech, and they are faltering now significantly. And we may have seen it. Look at Micron. Micron, about a $500 billion market cap. This is probably the most significant one I'm showing you because it's the biggest market cap of the memory players. Taiwan Semi is not really a memory player, but again, that would be bigger, over $1 trillion market cap. But for the memory players, this candle, look at this, guys. Notice you opened above the previous day high and you closed below the previous day low. That's a reversal engulfing candle in technical analysis. That's the most bearish reversal signal you can get in technical analysis. More than a topping tail, more than a reversal candle, a reversal engulfing candle, probability-wise, is the most negative. And so when you round it out, you think about silver reversing and dumping, Bitcoin reversing and dumping, and you look at what's left where investors are more psychological. Remember, everyone always says this time is different. All right, I heard that about Bitcoin earlier this year when I called the top in October. And I said, guys, we're into this major trend line that goes back to the 2017 highs. Unless it breaks through this, I said, I'm a bear. And I think the cycle's over. 4-year cycle too. Not that I believe in that, but people will say that when it's actually in their favor, they pump it. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the point is that Bitcoin, silver, psychologically, the market is at grave risk here. And we're not just seeing small down days here, folks. We are seeing major sell-offs where, again, I don't mind going on record and saying in the next few weeks, it would not surprise me to see a 4 to 5% down day. I'm not going to say 10% because that would be an all-out crash, but it would not surprise me to see a big market 4 to 5% down day in the next few weeks. Again, this is the defining week. And I say that because literally on the charts, you've either topped out and you've broken support and you're going to collapse, which is the most probable scenario, or this week you need to push up and take out this. Look at the white line piercing the yellow line right here. You have to get above that. If you don't get above that, this market's done. It's just the bottom line. Probability wise, the odds strongly favor this unless we get through that level here on the charts. And just quickly, I can look at the Nasdaq composite here, but the Nasdaq composite is almost identical to the same chart pattern here on the S&P. Uptrend line here, topped out in October, which is that trend line that hit on this S&P. And then we broke, retraced, rejected. It's got to get above here. Notice again, Nasdaq has not taken out the all-time highs. This week, it must get through this area right here. If it does not, this thing is going way lower. And my projections are telling me this would be your first major support level at 20,000. That would be from our all-time highs, a decline right from here. You'd be looking at about a 16% decline on the Nasdaq. All right, take it for what it's worth, guys. Again, I gave you guys a warning about silver. I gave you guys a warning about Bitcoin back in October. Here's my warning on the S&P. There are major red flags every which way, and it's not just a few percent drop here that we're at risk for. It could be as much as 10+%. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I tell it like the charts are telling me. Remember, no BS, just charts. VerifiedInvesting.com. Take care.